Hey members, how's it going? Matt Brabonic and Mackenzie Pennington here. We just did a story on healthy living on WSC and ICU, and it was on the big one, carbohydrates, quantities, and we kind of titled it, Eat This Much. Mackenzie, give everyone an overview of what we went over during that show, and then we'll start talking back and forth about some ideas that we have for people to start managing their weight and their carbohydrate intake a little bit.
Awesome. So we talked about how everybody is guilty of overeating.
Yeah.
It tastes good, you want more,
Yeah.
you just can't have more.
Can't have more.
Cut it in half.
Cut
Just
it
cut it in half, guys. We talked about how most people would eat this entire package of a wrap.
That's just a regular wrap from Get-Go. Picked it up this morning.
Eat half, people. Eat just half.
Tell them about the calories that were in it.
So
or
the
carbs.
calories,
Or carbs, 45 grams of protein.
45 grams of protein and 53 grams of carbs.
In one wrap. So you think of a wrap as like a low carb option, but you have salad dressing in there, you've got the wrap.
Cheese too.
Yeah, tell us about fruit.
Fruit. People think that it's always good for you, but there's actually a lot of sugar in fruit. So take your fruit in moderations, people. A banana has 34 grams of carbs in one banana. That's 11% of the daily amount.
And that we try to keep your daily amount of carbohydrate intake around 300 grams of carbs or less. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really easy to hit that when you have a banana on top of a sandwich, or a banana and blueberries in a smoothie with milk, and you're adding all that sugar. What we were talking about on the show is like how you can gain weight from protein too. Eating too much of anything, whether it's fat or protein. So tell me about the turkey.
So the turkey, one package here. Most people would eat the entire thing. Again, you'd only have
So that's 40 grams of protein.
40 grams of protein and just half.
So 80 grams of protein in the full thing. So that means you would be over consuming protein, because what we encourage our members to do is get between 20 and 40 grams of protein per serving. That's in a 3 to 5 hour period of time. The unfortunate thing about nutrition is that your body can't really absorb more than 50 grams of carbs, 40 grams of carbs, depending on where the carbs are from. If it's a slow digesting carbohydrate or a fast digesting carbohydrate like your glucose from your fruit, you can really shoot down your efforts in losing weight. And that was like a big hit of truth right there. You're overeating and you're hurting your chances at losing weight. You could be eating healthy foods, which a lot of this is, like this granola, super seed fruit, non-GMO, crafted in small batches. It looks super healthy, it is super healthy, but if you eat more than this at once, you're going way over on your carbohydrate intake. You could get way whacked out with your blood glucose levels. That's why when you eat granola and then let's say you go outside and wash your car, you can sometimes get the shakes because your sugar's coming down so much. Has that ever happened to you?
Absolutely.
You get the shakes? And we don't have diabetes type 2, but you can have moments where you have those diabetic spells, and it's because your sugar intake per meal is so high and you don't realize it. It's not your fault. It's just because it's all available. Take this bagel, for instance. The whole thing is 330 calories, and then you're gonna get 40 grams of carbs in this, 300 calories. Like, that's a lot of carbohydrates. So if you're gonna eat a bagel, eat half, and you're gonna stay well below your carbohydrate, going over on your carbohydrates, you're gonna feel better. And we don't wanna just eat carbs. So what we wanna do is mix in smaller amounts of carbohydrates, smaller amounts of protein. This is one of those very thin right here. It's about 15 grams of carbs. We've got about 10, 15 grams of protein right there. And then we have maybe half a cup of banana. And that's a really good meal. Really, to reach your nutritional allowances per meal, that's about the amount of food that somebody like Mackenzie would really need to power you for like 3 to 5 hours. And then we move on and we work our way down the road. So Mackenzie, like when you do your nutrition throughout the day, what are some things that you do right, and what are some of the things that you do wrong?
Some of the things that I do right, I try to limit my fruit intake to only in the morning, so that way I burn the sugar off and I'm not going to bed on a heavy stomach with sugar in my stomach. So grapes for a bedtime snack, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Fruit should be.
You were saying you can eat like pretzels till the cows come home.
I love pretzels.
We're talking about the sourdough pretzels. In one, there's 100 calories and 20 grams of carbs. So in the past month, have you eaten equivalent to say 4 of these pretzels at one time?
I just had one a second ago.
You just had, so you have 20 grams of carbs. So like, stop.
I know, they're
Okay?
bad.
No more pretzels.
Bad for
Okay,
you.
so that's what you need. Guys, if you go over, especially during the day when you're trying to think, when you're trying to work, it's going to mess you up. It's gonna hurt your focus. You're gonna have ups and downs in your blood sugar levels. You're not gonna feel as motivated to exercise. This can happen from oatmeal. This can happen from wheat bread. This can happen from chicken breast. When you overconsume, it will affect you. It will make you gain weight, and it will mess up your focus. It will mess up your mood. Do you work out in the morning?
I try to work out as soon as I wake up.
Okay, so you work out on an empty stomach.
Always.
And then like when you get out of your workout, how long do you wait till after your workout before like you start eating again? And what do you eat first? You're in really good shape. Like what do you do for your first meal?
I try to eat at the same time every day. So I always make a smoothie around 10:30, 11 a.m. And that's my only fruit that I take in during the day.
And then how long do you go until you eat again?
To about 2 or 3.
And then what do you typically eat at 2 or 3?
Soup.
Soup?
Broth soup.
Like a broth soup. And like they say the broth is really good for your digestive system and everything like that. What do you do after that?
After that, I go until dinner time. And then just for my diet, personally, I cannot mix grains and vegetables with a meat.
Too much fiber?
Too much fiber.
Mm-hmm.
So I either do meat for my protein and vegetables, or a grain and a vegetable.
So it's like big salads?
Big salads with chicken, but I never mix grains with protein.
How many calories a day do you eat?
About 1,200.
1,200? Do you have days where you go to 1,600?
It depends my activity level. Some
Okay.
days I work out more. Some days I try to do 2 hours of working out. Some days I only have time for 45 minutes. So based on my activity level, changes the amount of calories I take in.
And that's one of the things. If Mackenzie and I logged your nutrition for a day, we would probably find that the quantities of stuff you're putting in your smoothie, some of the dressings that you have on your salad, some of the feta cheese that you think doesn't have any calories in it, or the croutons don't have any calories in it, they do. I'd be willing to bet that you're between 1,400 and 1,600 calories a day. That's just me.
Probably.
Most people undershoot how many calories you're taking in per day. If you were always eating 1,200 calories a day, you wouldn't have as much energy as you do. But like Mackenzie's resting metabolic rate is about 1,400 calories a day. That's how many calories she burns per day with general movement and no exercise. So that means you can eat 1,400 to 1,800 calories a day if you're exercising so much. If you guys eat too few of calories, if you're way too skimpy on that side, you can hurt your metabolism that way too and struggle to lose weight. And you might end up going into starvation modes where you're not getting enough of the micro and macronutrient balance that you need. So all of this stuff, you can do it. You can do wraps from get-go. You can do walnuts. You can do wheat bread. You can do bananas. You can do turkey breast. You can do regular milk, almond milk, grapes. You can even do donuts. But I'm sorry, but you can only eat half of this donut. If you eat more than that, your cup is gonna flow over. It's too much sugar. It's too fast. You can gain fat from that, or you can hurt your chances at losing weight. And guys, hey, by the way, one serving of nuts is about that much. 190 calories. You can get fat from overeating fat. You can get fat from overeating protein. So you want to make sure you're not eating more than 40 grams of protein, okay, per meal. And you're trying not to eat over 50 grams of carbs per meal. So take that with you today. Try to limit your consumption to those numbers and find out what your resting metabolic rate is with us at iRock Fitness, Fitness U, Iron Oxygen, or Level Red Boxing. We'll have you download the MyZone Fitness app and we'll stand on the scale, find out what your resting metabolic rate is. We can tell you how much food you should be eating per day and how to do it right here. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We hope that helped. Mackenzie, high five. Killer. Have a great week, guys.